How are we, lads? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia, and welcome to part 4 of the NRL 2025 season previews. I hope everyone is doing well. Tonight we'll be previewing the Melbourne Storm, the Canberra Raiders, the Newcastle Knights, and the New Zealand Warriors. I appreciate you all for tuning in on this Thursday afternoon. Thank you very much. 6:59 p.m. here in New South Wales. Should be a bit of fun here, man. Obviously, part 4 tonight. We've already done all the other teams. We've done part 1. We did Rabbitohs, Roosters, Dragons, Sharks. Part 2, we did Manly, Bulldogs, Eels, Panthers, Tigers. Part 3, we did Cowboys, Broncos, Titans, Dolphins, and obviously tonight, Melbourne, Canberra, Newcastle, New Zealand. So should be a lot of fun. Hello to the live chat as always. Hello to Luke. Hello to SS Storm fan, Daniel, Josh24, CJ, Cody, Jason, Liam, and Will. I hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Josh Rabbitohs with the donation, $3 super chat. Hey, Nick, how you going? Hey, bro, I'm good. Good to be here. Thank you for the donation. Anyway, guys, let's just get into it, eh? Let's get into it. We're going to start off with... We'll start with the Storm. We'll start with the Melbourne Storm. And look, we know last year how good Melbourne were, right? Very dominant. They had a very good season last year, the Melbourne Storm, finishing first on the ladder. They were minor premiers. They had a very good season. Obviously, they fell short in the grand final in the big dance, but 2025 for the Melbourne Storm, man, it's going to be quite interesting. Now, having a look at their gains and losses, they've obviously picked up Stefano Utoikamanu from the Tigers, really good signing there. And they pick up a guy named Moses Leo. I've never heard of him, so fair enough. I guess I'll have to wait and see how he goes. And they've obviously lost Chris Lewis to retirement, Aaron Penne, Remus Smith, and young Tonomapia. So, not many big losses there. I think Chris Lewis, he was getting a bit older, and Aaron Penne definitely would have been one to keep around, but I think Melbourne didn't really see him in the future plans. So, look, man, I think Melbourne are going to be hard to beat, man. Like, you look at their team, very, very similar to last season, although they're adding in top-tier forward and Stefan. Oh, no. Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me we're going to have internet problems again. Oh, there we go. We're good. I do not want a repeat of last night where we had a few internet problems after we finished talking about the Titans. So hopefully the internet holds up. My apologies. Well, like I said, Melbourne's team, it's very similar to what it was last year. Obviously, a lot to learn from that grand final, and they will want to do one better. Obviously, Nelson didn't play in the grand final, but now, obviously, Nelson will be back. You're adding Stefano. Gee, they're going to be tough to beat Melbourne. It'll be very hard to beat it. I think if you're going to beat Melbourne, you're going to have to have a bit of luck on your side, and you're going to have to hope that you play your best foot forward, I guess. Like, Melbourne are going to be so hard to beat, man. How do I think Melbourne will go this year? Look, I don't see many weaknesses in the Melbourne Storm. I suppose if you want to look for a weakness, and maybe someone like a Sean Bloor is someone to target when you play the Melbourne Storm. Maybe target the centers of Nick Meaney. Defensively can get a bit caught out. Same with Xavier Coates, but they're a very tough team to beat, man. For me, Melbourne will finish between first and fourth. I think they'll be a top 4 team once again. The only thing preventing Melbourne from not being a top 4 team is probably injuries and whatnot. But overall, I look at Melbourne's team. I don't see many weaknesses. I see a lot of high-quality stuff, and they're going to be very hard to beat, man. Very hard to beat. Top 4 for the Storm. Now, moving on to the Newcastle Knights. The Newcastle Knights. What will they do in 2025? Well, let's have a look. Sorry, guys. My apologies. All right, gains and losses from the Newcastle Knights. So I picked up Matt Arthur from the Eels, which is not a bad buy, actually. And I've also picked up James Schiller from the Canberra Raiders, who was a winger. And they've lost David Armstrong, Jed Cartwright, Tom Jenkins, Fletcher Myers, Daniel Saifidi, and Anawi Tuwala. Now, obviously, I think losing Fletcher Myers is a bit of a stinger in my opinion. But who else they lose? Daniel Saifidi is a big one. David Armstrong not there as well. I look at Newcastle. I really do. I look at Newcastle's team. I see a lot of problems. I think the spine is the big one, right? The halves problem. Crossland, Gamble, Cogger, Hastings. How do you fit them all in? Well, they don't know. They don't have a clue. Kalen Ponga at fullback. We know how much of a superstar Kalen Ponga is, but he can't keep doing it on his own. You can't keep relying on Kalen Ponga to do it on his own. He is, in my opinion, he is crying out for more help. He needs more help in that team than ever. Now, Phoenix Crossland, right? Great player. The bloke's a hooker. The bloke's a dummy half. That's his position. Don't play him at 5'8" or halfback. Just play him at number 9. That's his position. Same thing with Jackson Hastings. Hastings is a 7, but who's your 7? Is it Jackson Hastings or is it Jack Cogger? In my opinion, Will Price should be the Knights 5'8", but they're so obsessed with Tyson Gamble. They're so obsessed with maybe Hastings and Cogger as a combination. They don't really know what they're doing. They really don't know. So Newcastle need to work out their spine. I think that forward pack's getting a little bit weaker. Frizzell's another year older. Jacob Saifidi, really good player, but needs a bit of help. Leo Thompson's future is completely unknown. He probably won't be at the Knights. Gagai, good player, good experienced player, but another year older. How many years does he have left in him? Bradman Best can't put more than 15 games together without getting a little injury. Depth might be a problem for the Knights. I've got a lot of question marks on the Knights. I just don't know how they're going to go. They made the finals in 2024, and they're probably lucky to get there. So how will they go this year? I don't see them making the 8. I really don't. Again, there's a lot of unnecessary pressure on Adam O'Brien. Adam O'Brien has done a great job with the Knights. So I don't think he should be under pressure, but we all know he will be, and we all know he probably already is. So for me, Newcastle, I think they're in for a tough season, guys. I really do. I think other teams got better, and I don't know if the Knights did. So I'm going to say Newcastle will finish in the bottom 4. That will probably be unpopular for some people, but I have more concerns than I do positives when it comes to the Newcastle Knights. I'm really intrigued to see how they go this season, but I think they're going to be in the bottom 4, man. If Kalen Ponga goes down, which I hope he doesn't go down, but we know history says that he will go down at least once. So we'll see how the Knights go. But for me, they'll be between 17th and 14th. We'll see what happens with the Knights. And moving on to the Warriors, heading over the Dutch to New Zealand now. And the Warriors, every year we talk about the Warriors. They are such a wild card. You don't know what you're going to get with the Warriors. Obviously, in 2023, brand new coach. They had a great year. They finished in the top 4, made it to a prelim. And then last year, they did lose a lot of close games, but a lot of injuries, players retiring, Sean Johnson, Tohu Harris, a couple of guys not backing up their great season in 2023. So Warriors are an intriguing team for me, man. Really, really intriguing. So having a look at the Warriors, gains and losses. They picked up Tanner Boyd, Aaron Clark, James Fisher-Harris, and Samuel Healy. I'm not sure who that is, but I'm sure we'll know soon enough. And they lost, obviously, Fennell Blake, Tohu Harris, Sean Johnson, Marcelo Montoya, Jazz Tavaga. A couple of big losses there. But even though their losses are bigger than their gains, I think they still have a decent side. Like, I look at their team, I look at their forward pack, I see Mitch Barnett, who played for Australia. I see James Fisher-Harris, fantastic player. I see Marata Niukore, very good back rower. Jackson Ford, I've got big raps on. They've still got some good stuff here at the Warriors. They really do. Aaron Clark, very good player. There we go. Mr. I'm not going to say his name, but he's pretty well known by the Newcastle people. So we're just going to put you in timeout. See you later, mate. Look, the Warriors have got a really decent forward pack on paper, and I do like the look of their team. Obviously, DWZ on the wing there with Tuivasa Sheck and Nickel Klukstad and whoever else gets there. I really hope to see more of Tuapiki. I want to see more of him. I like the look of him. So, look, the Warriors for me could be between anywhere from 7 to 13. Like, they could be anywhere in that section. You don't really know what you're going to get. My concern for the Warriors is their front row depth. Like I see Barnett, I see Fisher-Harris. But who else is going to play front row? Obviously, they've got Jacob Labin. They got that young Zion fella who looked good last year when he played. Obviously, Jackson Ford can play in the middle if need be. But depth-wise, I don't know what their depth looks like. I got some good young players on the bench, but depth-wise, that could be a concern. Obviously, losing Sean Johnson, that's a big blow. That's a big one, man. Obviously, Luke Metcalf, good young talent, but a little bit injury-prone, man. Needs to stay healthy for a long period. Same with Tamari Martin, Chanel Harris-Tavita. They're all very talented halves, but what's the best combination and what's the long-term solution there in the halves? So, and also, I want to say as well, please put Roger Tuivasa-Sheck at fullback or on the wing. For crying out loud. In the centers last year, he looked lost. He was all over the place, man. Put Roger on the wing because I think Tuapiki might be the long-term fullback. Chance in the centers seems to be better than what Roger is at the centers. So I hope they really put Roger on the wing with Dallin, Chance in the centers with Rocco Berry, and Tuapiki at fullback. I really hope the Warriors do that. But it's going to be a wait and see with the Warriors. So look, if the Warriors make the 8, wouldn't be surprised. I just don't know if it's going to happen. It's so unpredictable with the Warriors. So, look, I'm going to say they'll be between probably 10th and 14th, somewhere in there. I don't think they'll make the 8. If they do, then fair play to them. I wouldn't be that surprised. But I worry about the depth in the Warriors, and I don't know what their best halves combination is. I think it's Metcalf and Martin. Metcalf 6, Martin 7. That's probably their best halves pairing, but who knows? Who really knows what they're going to do? But Warriors for me between 10 and 14. We'll see how they go, but good luck to the Warriors. I've got a soft spot for them, so I hope they do well. And moving on to the final team from the nation's capital, the Green Machine, the Milk, the Canberra Raiders. The Canberra Raiders. Let's have a look at what the Raiders have done in the offseason. They have picked up Miles Martin, Ethan Sanders from the Eels, who's obviously going to be the Raiders' long-term halfback after Jamal Fogarty. Matty Nicholson comes in for Elliot Whitehead, which I don't mind because Matty Nicholson is a very good back rower and he will do well if given the minutes. And the Raiders, they have lost Kotrick, Gula, Peter Holler, Rapana, Schiller, Zach Wolford, Elliot Whitehead. So they've lost a bit of experience there. They have lost a bit of experience. But, gee, I tell you what, I'm a fan of their young their young talent, man. I really like Trey Mooney. I really like Atta Mariota. Sure, I pronounced that wrong. Apologies if I do, but guys like Trey Mooney, Mariota, guys like them who obviously played a little bit of footy last year, especially Mariota. He played well last year, man. My concern with the Raiders is the hooker position and I suppose how they handle losing the experienced guys. But you look at their team, right? The Raiders, I believe they're a well-balanced team. There's no out-and-out superstar in their team. Like, obviously, Joseph Tarpany is probably their superstar. I guess Tarpany is a superstar, so he's probably their superstar player. But you got some really good players there in Hudson Young, guys like Jamal Fogarty, Matt Timoko, Xavier Savage coming on the scene as well. I've got some really good young players coming through there. I like to look at the Raiders, man. Really good forward pack as well. Like, obviously, Tarpany, Papali'i coming to the end, but still good for experience. Hudson Young, Zach Hosking. We saw Zach Hosking last year when he played in the back row. He was on fire. Bloke from England. What's his name? Morgan Smithies. Morgan Smithies looked really good last year. Played pretty well when he was there. And I got some good forwards coming off the bench there, likes of Mariota, Corey Horsburgh. Hopefully he can put a full season together. They've got some good stuff at the Raiders. I do worry about the hooker position, though. So, look, I think the Raiders, they might start slow. I could be wrong. They might start slow with the losing of the experienced players, but it could be the opposite. They could start really well. And I think this year we're going to see a lot more from Ethan Strange. He played really well last year. Obviously got dropped to the centers at the back end and whatnot, but I think Ethan Strange is the future going forward. So I really like, obviously, Kyle Weeks as well at fullback. He played really well last year too when he come in. So I like to look at the Raiders. We'll see how they go this year. For me, I reckon they'll make the 8. I reckon they will make the 8. I know a lot of people are crapping on the Raiders and saying that they're going to be bottom 4 and come 10th, 11th, but I really like to look at the Raiders, guys, and I reckon they make the 8 this year. So Raiders, for me, they'll be between 5th and 8th. I reckon they're in for a really, really solid season. I really like the look of them. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap things up from me. Thank you all for watching. This stream went a bit quicker than all the other ones, surprisingly, but thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Have a fantastic Thursday evening, and I will see you guys in probably a few days for another video of some sort. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic night, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys.